All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are on our way to the Rose Bowl right now, where we are going to be linking up with a new friend of the show. His name is Scott. He's a producer, and he's also a recidivism activist. And we're going to be linking up with him because he is going to be feeding some of the firefighters that have been working tirelessly around the clock in combating all the wildfires that have been taking place in Los Angeles. So far, the last death toll that I saw was around 10, with more than 10,000 structures that have been burned to the ground. Obviously, this is one of the most impactful wildfires, certainly the most devastating wildfire in California history. And one of the lesser known aspects of combating wildfires in the state of California is the fact that the California state relies sometimes upwards of 30% of the firefighting force at any given point during wildfire season. California state relies on inmates, incarcerated firefighters. And some of these incarcerated firefighters make $5 to $10 a day, according to I guess publicly available data. Some of them makes upwards of $26 a day. Now, obviously, these numbers are incredibly low. They are incarcerated. It's a valuable training program, and until recently, they had no opportunity to join a full-time, staffed, employed fire department. Since, I believe, 2022, there have been initiatives to, I guess, expunge their record if they have any drug offenses, or if they have any sort of if they have a felony on their record, they're incarcerated. They must have it expunged in order to be able to join, in order to be able to get EMT training, which is a requirement to become a California firefighter. Before 2022, the gainful employment opportunities for a lot of these incarcerated firefighters was very limited, only part-time jobs at best if they were really lucky. They still, as far as I understand, cannot join municipalities unless it's like a super rare instance. We're going to be talking to these guys. They're still technically in prison, but for the time being, they're out of prison and at the Rose Bowl in the staging area. You know, after a long day, sometimes 12-hour shifts or even longer of combating wildfires, clearing out brush, and numerous other things that you have to do, they're going to be eating. So we're going to go talk to them about their experiences and what their day-to-day looks like, and hopefully help people understand that the incarcerated population are human too. Now, of course, this sounds really silly when I say it, but unfortunately, it's something that must be said. Because in the United States of America, we have one of the most draconian prison structures, one of the worst carceral states on the entire planet, where the American government houses 25% of the entire planet's prisoner population, despite only making up 4% of the entire planet's population. That's right, a quarter of the imprisoned people on this planet behind bars, in chains, are in the United States of America. This is why I always get very upset when people think that the real solution to combating crime, to ensuring that crime doesn't happen in this country, is actually more stringent and more draconian punishments, when clearly we have some of the most antiquated, dare I say, medieval, torturous carceral structures on the planet. And yet, seemingly, that has not solved the issue at all. Seemingly, this kind of deterrence mechanism is not actually successful at lowering the number of the incarcerated population in this country. What actually has worked so far, successful initiatives like training programs and reintegration programs, a focus on rehabilitation rather than incarceration, has actually been successful at combating the likelihood of reoffending. What do you want to tell the camera about yourself?
Scott Budnick, movie producer, spent 14 years making The Hangover and Project X and a bunch of stupid shit. Went into juvenile hall, met a bunch of incarcerated kids, and started doing this. and here we are, still making movies, but doing this is what kind of feeds my soul.
And what's the group that you work with predominantly? Like you have a recidivism.
ARC.
Right?
So
ARC.
organization I started. So after I was making comedies, then I did that, and now I'm back in the movie business making movies, but I'm still on the board of ARC and doing this kind of work.
We were supposed to have a meeting
On Friday, and I got evacuated.
That was like not. I didn't even realize that you were doing this thing. We were supposed to have this meeting, and I thought it was like a regular. You know, sometimes producers and stuff like that hit me up, and then Caroline was like, "Oh, I was doing some research on like incarcerated firefighters, like where to donate and whatnot, because it's something that we talk about quite a bit."
Yeah.
And he was like, "Oh, there's this guy, Scott Budnick." And I was like, "I know this name. Where do I know it?" It's like, "Oh my God, it's
Wait,
the
you
dude."
figured this out?
Yeah, she's the one.
Yeah.
I'm like, wait a second, that's crazy
Yeah.
that these two things intersected.
We actually have a mutual.
What's going on, man?
Kimbo, nice to meet you.
Yeah.
Hasan,
So
nice
I
to
saw,
meet
I
you.
was like, oh, this guy. Okay, I think we gotta connect with them.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Need Big Kimbo right here?
All right, yeah, let's do it.
Hi.
Kimbo, you're on Twitch.
What's up with it? How's it going?
So, from what
You
we
guys talk.
understand, Scott was giving us the lay of the land here.
Okay.
So you're originally from Juvie, right? Or,
Nah, I'm a youth offender.
You're a
I
youth
caught my
offender.
case at 18.
So yeah, all the red caps here in particular, if you can show right there, they're all from. Are you guys all from the same correctional facility?
Yeah, we're all from Growlersburg Fire Camp.
Okay.
We're the Wild Peak Crews.
Okay.
The
So
crews here right now.
these guys went in as juvenile offenders. From what I understand, there's also there's a lot of restrictions in terms of who can do this kind of firefighting as an incarcerated individual. But for you guys, there's a additional opportunity, right? Like even if you went in as a violent offender,
Yes, sir.
if you went into a juvenile facility, you still have the ability to come
Yeah.
and get training. What are the benefits of doing something like this?
Okay, we got violent crime, so we got sentenced to a longer time.
Yeah.
And we're supposed to go to high level security yards, real serious stuff going down, real dangerous yards. But with this opportunity with Scott Budnick, he let the guys that got caught up at 18 not have to go do time with like OG lifers and all that. So we got an opportunity to come to fire camp, and we get time cuts, so time off our sentence, a bunch of time off our sentence. We're like the highest paid inmates in the whole system.
What's the pay though? It's still pretty low, right?
Yeah, it's still low. It's low. I think I get like $180 a month.
That's crazy.
They give you extra when it's during a crisis, right? It was reading that you were supposed
Nah,
to
we don't get no
pay.
extra during no crisis.
No?
Not for us. Maybe the free firefighters, but we don't get no extra during the crisis. But there's supposed to be a pay increase in the future. We're supposed to get $5 an hour, but that's still low for like people on the street.
Yeah.
But for us, we're like that make us like we'll be doing real well.
Yeah, but you're doing
Yeah.
crazy work. You're
Crazy-
out here.
yeah,
You
crazy
said
work.
24
Crazy
hours
ass
in,
stuff.
24 hours out, right? And then
Yeah.
sometimes they do 12 hours in, 12 off. But
Yeah.
I mean, what are some of the things that you do on a day-to-day basis out here?
We go in with our tools. We hike a bunch of miles. We're on the mountain. Then we grab. We work with our hand tools. You feel me?
Yeah.
So it's like the hardest job in the firefighting for the wildland. Period. It's like we're like infantry. We're the foot soldiers.
Yeah.
So we're cutting line. We're scraping brush. We're using chainsaws. Scraping brush. We're making a path between the fire and the rest of the fuel, the community, the brush. So we make that barrier. We create that barrier with our hand tools. But it takes a long time. It takes hours and hours, and we go where the bulldozers can't get to. You feel me? So we're going tight spaces, real steep, where a bulldozer would like fall if it would try to go up there. It's crazy. So yeah, it's crazy stuff. We sleep out there. We get our rest when we can out there on the mountain. It's crazy. Yeah. So
It gets dangerous too, right?
it's dangerous.
Yeah.
It's dangerous. I have to dodge rocks sometimes coming down. Dodge them. You feel me? I swear to God,
Yeah.
on my mama. We got it. It's
I
crazy,
believe
bro.
you.
It's crazy. It's
All right.
dangerous work. It's
Will
dangerous
you
work.
will you like it?
Yeah.
Do you feel like it's almost like a respite from being? Is it better than being in prison or no?
It's way better because I was in a prison yard. I'm seeing guys get stabbed, get jumped, get beat up. The cops treat us like shit. But here, we get better treatment, right? They talk to us like humans. They talk to us like humans. We got a job. We're underpaid, but we got a job.
Yeah.
You feel me? And then the community comes out and shows us all kinds of love.
It's
we never received that growing up. We never received that kind of love, that kind of recognition for anything we've done. So now, doing this kind of stuff and all this love coming, that's life-changing for a lot of guys, because that's all they be needing is a little bit of recognition. With this, it's life-changing, and we get opportunities at careers.
How long was your sentence? You don't mind me asking?
17 years.
17 years?
Yep.
God damn. They're gonna shave it off.
Yep.
They're gonna shave it off now.
They're gonna shave it off. They shaving some off.
They better shave it off.
But you feel me? We ain't breaking, you know what I mean? We ain't folding. You feel me? 17 years, but now I'm at camp. I got about 2 years left. 2 years left. I had to work a bunch of time off with schooling and graduating high school.
How old are you now?
I'm 25 now. I'm forgetting. I've been down for a minute.
I feel you.
I started at 18, I'm 25 now.
And you got linked up with this program how many years ago?
I got to fire camp last year. In November, that was the first time any person like with my kind of case, violent crime, was allowed to go to fire camp last year in November. So we're the start of it.
What about for adult offenders? Do you think that like it's a good program overall, right? Like it's like. Even if it wasn't fighting wildfires, like, do you feel like these kinds of initiatives? You talked about being feeling like a human, right? Feeling like a sense of dignity from other people. Do you feel like these kinds of programs, reintegration programs like that, would be successful overall? Like in terms of giving you proper training and giving you tools to one, lower your sentence, give back to the community somehow. And then when you go out, you have, I'm not entirely sure about the wildfire programs in general, but like in general, it's good to have that kind of work experience so you don't feel like your life is lost.
Yeah, it could be successful, but the thing is the pay. The work compared to the pay is like, it's crazy.
Yeah.
So a lot of guys get broke off on the mountain, their body get beat up, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But if the pay went up, more guys would be more grateful for the opportunity.
Yeah.
We're grateful for the opportunity. We got all this time. You feel me? We're young. Then we're real excited. We're real motivated. So when we get out, we're firefighters. You feel me? We're not running the streets anymore.
Yeah.
But for the adult crews, I mean, it just depends on their motivation. But it's hard work. So if you're lazy, you're not gonna last. You're gonna hate it. But if you're motivated to better yourself, it's gonna work for you as long as you work it.
It's nice to hear from you, man. I don't want to keep you from eating your food.
It's all good, man. It's good, man. It's my 24 down. I appreciate you guys for coming out.
Yeah, nice to meet you, bro.
Xavier, he's down to talk, and then if you guys wanna
come here, let's talk. Yo, those are. Does the state give you those?
Yeah. We get them brand new.
Those are kind of drippy, dude.
Just a little bit. You know, so you look fly on the mountain. It's something nice.
Yeah. Do you get to keep it? Do you get to keep the hats?
Yeah.
Oh, you get to bring it back?
Well, everything, they give us everything. Everything's kind of state issue when you get there. They kind of prepare you for the fires. So that way when you get out there, do what you gotta do.
I'm saying, like, when you go back, do you get to keep them?
I don't think so.
That's crazy.
It's considered an antique.
I
don't think he wants to keep that either.
I'm not gonna. I'm gonna cop his shoe.
You're like, hey, can I get this?
No, but I did see some jackets there. They're pretty sweet.
All right, bro, chill. We're not gonna take their clothes off their back, bro. They're fighting wildfires out there.
Look, we'll give it to you, man. We'll give it to you. It's a donation.
All right. So, how are you guys feeling? Is the tacos good?
We're blessed.
Yeah?
I haven't even tried them yet. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Do you want to eat first?
No, I'm good. I just ate.
I'm good, thank you too.
While you eat, you talk. How about that? And then swap it out.
So again, Xavier and Angel for those who
you don't want to eat on camera?
Huh? Nah. I gotta go wait.
There's hella ladies watching right now. They're gonna be judging. They're gonna be judging the way you're eating.
He's not shy. He's not shy.
No, don't even worry, because he eats on stream, and you cannot be worse. You cannot be worse. How you guys doing?
We're blessed. You know, we're taking it all in. We just came down from the mountain yesterday. We were assigned to the Eaton Fire. Our division, you know, was meeting up with other crews, doing some hand line. The dozer only goes so far. You know, our job is really to kind of get in the cracks and crevices where the dozer can go. And when we get out there, we work as a team, you know. This guy is crazy out in the fires, man. This guy goes crazy.
So, let me ask you, how long you guys been training? Like, when did you get started with the program? It's a relatively new one, right?
Yeah, it's relatively new. I mean, fire camps have been around for a while, but as far as for us, you get sent to a training facility before you're even allowed to come to a fire camp. And the training, honestly, will not prepare you for what it really is. You know, it's only a 2-week program. You probably do a couple sets of push-ups, run a mile or so. But
They're like,
yeah, but it's like,
But does not prepare you
it's
for the
nothing
real
compared
world.
to hiking with a pack on or having to cut line for hours. But yeah, like I said, I mean, you won't be able to really figure out what it's about until you get to a fire camp.
Yeah.
It's a lengthy process. I think these facilities try to imitate the feeling you get when you're on the mountain. You know, the hike can be miles and miles, and you know, you got to carry this water, and your circumstances are subject to change, you know, depending on the winds and how the fire increases over time, you know, and these places really just cannot imitate that emotion, that feeling you get when you're up there, you know. And
before these fires this week, had you guys fought any fires before, or is this your first?
No,
He has.
we were just here at the Ventura fire, the mountain fire,
Okay. Oh yeah.
just
yeah.
recently. So that was our most recent fire. I mean, fire season just passed, so the last couple of fires we have caught has been down south. You
I
know?
mean, this is kind of crazy to be your first experience.
Yeah. But you know, it feels good to be able to, you know, show the community that we're out there. You know,
Yeah.
we're trying to help the community. You know, it's a hard time for everybody. You know, God bless those people that were affected from these fires. You know, that coming back and your house is burned down. It's very crazy. You know, it's a very crazy time. But you know, it feels good to be able to help these people in some type of way.
Yeah, we were talking earlier about how I don't think a lot of people know that historically 1/3 of California's firefighting force is made up of incarcerated folks, and I think right now it's like 40 something percent because of
We're the backbone of the
because of how
operation.
drastic this is. Yeah.
There's a lot of you motherfuckers out here.
It's the backbone of the
They're like-
operation, and you know, Cal Fire is kind of just to cover up for it, you know, and we get out there and we do the hard work, you know?
Yeah.
But shout out to those people do work too, you know, but we get the rough and tough end of the stick.
Do you guys, like, what do you want people to know about either this program or about just being an incarcerated firefighter in general? Like, is there any, you know, PSA that you want to make? Like, what's something that people probably don't know, considering that a lot of people don't even know that you guys are out here fighting these fires?
I mean, one thing I would want the public to know is just that we're taking advantage of the second chance that we're being given, you know? And this is the opportunity to change our lives, you know, the trajectory of our lives, to be able to get a career once we leave, you know? Once we hit the streets. And we're blessed to be in this position, you know? And like you said, a lot of people may not know about it, but we're putting the work in to try to not only better ourselves, but better our communities.
Bro, don't hype it up too much. They're not gonna give you more. They're not gonna give you more money. It's crazy. They get paid $5 a day. It's
We're out there
bullshit.
getting it.
No, I know,
We're out there getting it. We're out there
But
getting it.
it's
Fires
goal,
would
is what
be, these
we're
fires
working
would
for,
be
you
so
know?
much larger if they weren't out here. They need to get paid an adequate wage.
I mean,
Right?
you do.
Yeah, no, that's true. I mean, we get paid $5, $5.80 an hour.
You're over here like, oh, it's
Oh, no,
great.
not even. We get paid.
I love being in the
we get
fire.
paid $1 an hour. Actually. That was a mistake on my
You're
part.
gonna get a pay cut after this.
You
Yeah.
oversold what
Yeah,
you're
we get
getting.
paid $24 a day. So
Yeah.
I mean,
$24 a day.
Let me tell you this.
when we're on a fire,
Talk to me. Talk to me.
Did you guys know that you got the normal, like, the rest of the firefighters, right? They're also in the staging area over there somewhere.
Correct.
yeah.
So you got that, and they get paid, like, the municipality gets paid, like, I think 98 grand or something. Like, they get paid pretty well. They get
Very
good pensions,
well.
good benefits. They
Very
got
well.
unions. So they're in a decent situation. What would you say if I were to tell you that there's also private brigades on top of that really rich people like Rick Caruso, you know the Grove? You
Very
guys know what that is? Yeah, the Grove. It's a mall.
Very
Very
aware.
fancy
aware.
shopping.
Very well.
It's lame. It's lame as anyway. He owns the Grove. He's a real estate developer. So we hired private firefighters to protect the Grove. You know how you heard about the Palisades that got
Right.
burned down? 75% of it's gone, except for Rick Caruso's mall in the middle of the Palisades. Why? Because he hired a private brigade. Those dudes are making $7,000 a day to do what you guys are doing. I don't want to.
Money is power. Money
I don't
is
want
power.
the fucking sheriff to hear me talking like this.
No,
Well, I think
he didn't encourage you to talk this
everybody's
way.
listening right now.
Yeah, $7,000 a day to do
That really-
basically what you guys are doing.
Wow.
So
And
think about that.
You know, and it's crazy. You know, it's a big pill to swallow. But in this case, the return that we get is our second chance at life. You know, this is a pilot program. You know, a lot of us made decisions before our brain was able to develop, before the age of 25. You know, so I mean, this is our second chance. and this is our second chance to prove it. And you know, at this point, it's a blessing. You know, it's not more about the material, but the growth that we gain from this experience.
I think it's important too to talk about how there are obstacles though after you are released, where you have this training, right? You have this experience. You deserve to have this as a career, but you know, it's still really difficult even with legislation that's been passed to work at expunging records and make it easier to get hired in this career. Like, it is still
the reintegration process is a little tricky, you know, and I believe it depends and it varies on the individual, you know, because circumstances are subject to change. But at the end of the day, I believe if you want to change and you want to get out there, it's,
how long you guys got, if you don't mind me asking?
I got 4 months, I'm out.
You got a year and a half left?
4 months, I'm out. 4 months, I'm out.
Okay.
I reside in the San Fernando Valley.
December? Okay.
How much time you have left? 2028.
Damn, it's gonna be a whole new president by then. Don't worry, none of us are making it out. None of us are making it out by 2028.
I taught him what Twitch was.
Oh yeah.
I've been in long enough, I didn't know what it was.
Who here watches Twitch? Anybody?
Is it the gaming one though?
Yeah, the gaming one.
Xbox and stuff? Yeah, I watched it a few times.
Yeah, you guys got any favorite content creators like YouTube, Twitch? Kai Cenat? Yeah, I know Kai Cenat. Damn. Look at that, Kai. Pretty boy Fredo.
Kai is that boy, huh? Kai is the boy, huh?
2K basketball.
Oh no, I don't really play any 2K.
Oh, they're asking
you guys
me
watch
if he
basketball
games.
commentators though? Oh, who do you like in basketball?
They're talking about it. Well, we're talking about Twitch. Some of these guys are familiar. Some of them have been locked up too long, but they. One of them asked about Kai Cenat.
Like basketball YouTubers?
No,
They do
like,
basketball
Kai?
content.
Then they're talking about basketball.
What I can think of
Gaming.
Pretty Boy Fredo. So Illuminati.
Oh, Soul Illuminati. Yeah, I know Soul.
When did
Have y'all ever seen like YouTube videos of like a prison in Norway? Look it up.
There's a whole show called The Worst Prisons in the World, right?
Yeah, America has the worst prisons in the world, bar none. Straight up. They say like, oh, Russian prisons are bad, Turkish prisons are bad, or whatever, but American prisons are obviously the fucking worst.
Terrible.
It's a for-profit industry.
Definitely.
Yeah.
They're privately owned industries.
Yeah, I mean, it's, you know, one problem is that, I mean, it's good that incarceration rates have gone down, but now they're like, oh shit, we have less people to use as firefighters. So it's now
They dip into the inmate.
Right, because they do rely on you guys so much.
And do you guys think that they know like the trauma that it causes?
What's that?
Like, do you guys think that they know the trauma that causes like?
Bro, I'm not gonna lie, they don't give a shit. It's like
He's not lying.
they don't give a shit. They don't give a shit when you're
Where's the
out
money?
and
Where's the money?
doing stuff. You
The
know
reason
what
why I ask is because I mean you heard of the word institutionalized, right?
The what?
Institutionalized. Have you heard that word before? Institutionalized, like
Oh, institutionalized. Yeah.
So now I've only did it for like 12 years, 13 years, but the point is I'm about to go home next month. So you go from the cell to this right here. It's like it's culture shocking. So now I guess like the fire camp, bringing back light to the fire camp, right? It does help you because now you start mingling with the public, with you guys, the civilians, right? Which is I feel foreign with you guys because I feel like I'm part of the prison. That's who I was. That's what they indoctrinated me to be.
Yeah.
That's what they wanted me to be. So like now they want you to get out here and then go to a fire camp and then act like if you're a firefighter when we do get like minimum training, right? So how is it that you do that? How can I become a better civilian, a citizen? Coming from prison to this, like maybe you guys know something about that. Like, that's my biggest question. How do
I've only been in jail.
You know what I mean? Like,
it was not.
Okay, what's
It was
normal to you guys?
overnight.
What's normal to you guys?
Are you asking like personally how
Right.
you make that transition?
Right.
I mean,
He asked a serious question and I made jokes. I'm sorry.
No, it's fine.
No,
It's
no,
a
no.
job.
It's a job. It's
Yeah.
it's my job.
I
It's
think
my
what's
job.
key is having support, right?
Right.
So that that transition is easier. I mean,
Right.
you're right. When you spend so long
Right.
in prison, then you either are on the path to being institutionalized or you're
Right,
there.
right.
It is hard to transition out, and there is such a lack of support from the state.
Right, that's my
So I understand. I mean, that's
talking about the gym. You got the gym.
neither of us have been in that situation before, so we can't speak from personal experience. But it's why we are trying to bring attention to this and say, okay, you're somebody you have firefighting skills now, right?
Right.
You've been there on the front lines. You've you've trained for this, like, how great would it be, and how deserving are you of, like, having this as a career after you leave, so you don't have to, you know, struggle with job opportunities because you have a criminal record. And of course we live in a country where that is an obstacle to you re-entering into society.
What kind of services do they have inside for, like, when you're about to leave, right? When you're about to get out? Do they have like retraining services or anything like that that like connect you with job providers?
Right. So in camp it's kind of minimal. Like they really don't. If it's it seems to me like if it's just Cal Fire, if it's not Cal Fire related, like you're just not what they're looking for. They're not going to put much effort into it. Now you do have those individuals that do want to help you, right? Yeah. So that's more because they're personalized with you and you kind of grow a bond with them over time. But as far as them like providing something for us specifically for not Cal Fire, there's really none. So that's like the thing.
So California State doesn't have any sort of like reintegration program.
California has MCRP program, and thank God for Scott Budnick, he's trying to integrate his ARC program. So MCRP is the reintegration program from being incarcerated to being on the outside. It's limited, but it's offering you a way to try to deinstitutionalize, but in a sense, it's kind of just keeping you on a leash. Sadly to say, but that's what it is. They do offer some programs, but they're very limited because they're usually private-owned companies.
And they most likely have you do it yourself. Like when you finish parole, they have you do your own parole.
It feels like out of 10, only 3 go.
I feel
what
like,
about the rest?
I feel like if you had a job coming out, if you had something lined up, kind of like this program, if it was Cal Fire or if it was anything else, you're not gonna fuck around. You're not gonna want to lose that job. You're not gonna want to fuck over. You're not gonna fuck around with your parole.
You're gonna lose. It's a tie down.
Yeah, that's what is so frustrating about stuff like this is that, I mean, it's just so dispensable, like expendable. They just discard you. They're like, all right, fuck off. You know, all right, you did your time. Fuck off.
Another number, yeah.
And it's very frustrating.
So you said you kind of do political work, like rehabilitation, right? Since you've been kind of shining the light on some of the other spaces, have you seen any like progress being made or any like development within that field?
I mean, yes and no. I feel like people are very resistant. They're very resilient. They don't want to see the humanity of other people. And it's pretty dog eat dog out there. I mean, you know this, right? Like, obviously, everyone has like a I want to get mine mentality. So they don't have any time for anybody else. But overall, there are communities out there that obviously guys like Scott, out of the kindness of their heart, you know, people that try to extend a helping hand to those who you know, just need just a little bit of a leg up to be able to reintegrate, to be able to become valuable members of society. There's great examples of that too. There's plenty of convicts that, like, you know, ex-cons that you know, made some of themselves after
Big places.
Yeah, big blazes.
Made it big places.
Oh, made it big blazes. Yeah.
Just like I've seen so much news coverage speaking about incarcerated firefighters, and I've seen people sharing stuff. I know it's the first time that they've heard about that, so I think it's even just that first step of like.
Yeah, of course. Come over.
A lot of the guys out here who are fighting these things.
Get in here.
Stand right here.
Talk to him.
I just want to say hello to my daughter out there. I haven't seen her in about 11 years. And yeah, I love you, baby. And hopefully I'll be out soon. And yeah, I miss you a lot. And hey, be good out there and get your mom right, okay? Love you.
He's doing the Lord's work. He's protecting people in California right now, every day.
Doing my best.
What's your name?
My name is Salvador Serna. I'm out of Tulare County, and I miss everybody.
Nice to meet you. What? How much time you got?
I got about 6 months left.
Oh, hell yeah.
About
Okay.
6 months. Unfortunately, I came back on another term, but you know, this has helped me to grow a little bit more. You know, expand my horizons a little bit more, and build a little bit more, and well, just focus on myself more.
Okay.
And I'm very appreciative.
You didn't do this beforehand. You didn't do the Cal Fire program beforehand.
I've never done it before, but I'm hanging with a crew that's way younger than me, and man, they're all on fire, man, and I'm running with the pack.
Tell them how old you are, OG.
How many push-ups is OG doing?
I'm 53 years old, and
He can probably manage
I'm
you
running
out,
with
man.
all these 20s and 30-year-olds. So
He's out there, man.
if I could do it, anybody could do it.
He's in the Wild Peak crew, so everybody in this crew is under 25.
Yeah.
Tell them, OG.
OG's under
That's true,
25
man.
too.
For sure.
In heart.
incarcerating?
At heart.
Well, I've been walking in circles for many years, so.
All right.
I appreciate it very much. And thank you so much.
Of course. Nice to meet you, man. Thank you for everything you're doing.
Hey, thank you again.
Keeping the streets safe.
You know, in the type of coverage and content that we do on the street, like as leftists, we try to bring attention to these issues that become better for everybody. So he was asking like, why do we care? Like how we got involved. And like, that's a long story, but
I try to explain to people all the time that are listening that they are closer to where you are, and I am closer to where you are than we are to a guy like Elon Musk or a billionaire or a multi-millionaire, you know, owns multiple condos, properties. Like, obviously sometimes people don't have a good starting position in life, you know what I mean? And they get lost in the system. Like, no one is like truly evil. I mean, okay, there's some of
Right.
evil. but like child molesters, they're evil. But like, other than that, you know, everybody has a story. Everybody's a normal human being. Yeah.
A lot of good in people.
I remember
It's more about maximizing potential.
Breaking that stigma. Breaking the
a
stigma.
long time ago, I like saw this visual of a race, right? So imagine you're running, and not everybody is at the same starting. Some people are ahead, and some people are behind, but you're all running that same race, and that's the reality. Is that depending on your circumstances in life, you might be ahead or you might be behind when you start out that race. And so, you know, a lot of people, they have no control over the circumstances in life that they're born into, and they shouldn't be demonized for, you know, for something like having been in prison in a country that makes a lot of money off of imprisoning people for, frankly, things they shouldn't even, you know, they shouldn't be in jail for the first place. And
Or at least be in for a much shorter period of time and a focus on rehabilitation. These sorts of programs are good for that, especially. Very important for that. Because everybody needs to be busy, bro. That's what it is. You know what I mean? If you're not busy, you're going to go crazy. Sitting around, looking at the same gray bars all day. So obviously, I think breaking that pattern a little bit for you guys is, I assume, very helpful.
For sure.
Yeah. Bro, you have the Luffy scar. You know what that is? One Piece? It's an anime.
always great.
It's a very famous anime, and the main character has the exact same scar that you have. Yeah, probably.
You bring up that anime at any.
I mean, yeah.
So you spoke about like the rogue, like individualism, right? And I think we got to get kind of to like the collective identity or the collective mindset. And you spoke of like the race. And so my question is, how do we like bridge that gap to where we kind of like bring the people more together for that collective identity?
I think it's a matter of, you guys is a little bit different, obviously, because you're in prison. So obviously there's like there's a very rigid structure to your life, and I think a lot of that is like, you see collectivization in like the worst aspects of it, maybe like in the same way that the military does it, where they break you down and reduce you to a number. But I think overall people should recognize that they have the exact same interests in life. Like that's my principle, at least. I believe that everybody wants a hot meal, a roof over their head, you know what I mean, and a decent job, and maybe to get pussy on the weekends and watch some fucking anime, play some video games. Yeah. So
shit, you can say on Twitch, huh?
Yeah, I can say that. Yeah, you can say whatever you want.
Now you know what Twitch is like. Okay? Like serious topics, and then also.
But that's what everybody wants.
Yeah, realism.
And I think it's always the limitations of the system that cause people to not be able to achieve that in the most successful way. There is virtually nothing different between any of you guys and someone like myself, except for like I'm willing to bet that my beginning point is more affluent, more privileged. You know what I mean? That's it. Definitely. Like I fucked up. I fucked up when I was a kid. I fucked up when I was a young adult. I mean, I got arrested. You know what I mean? Like, but the difference is, well, I mean, I was broke when I got arrested, so that's not the best example. But like, but still, like, I had a network to be able to rely on, to fall back to, and if that's taken from underneath you, if you don't have that support system, then some people end up falling through the cracks, you know?
Also, Nick Cannon, that's why it's...
Oh, nice.
If you guys want to go.
Yeah, go hang out with Nick Cannon. Don't worry about it. No. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it, bro. Come on, it's Nick Cannon. Who's the most famous?
Nick Cage, or did I say?
I thought you said Nick Cannon.
She was thinking about Nicolas Cage.
I swear.
Nicolas Cage?
I didn't say.
You thought everybody was going crazy for Nicolas Cage?
No, I'm like.
National treasure. Just trying to take it out. Another national treasure. Ghost Rider.
Ghost Rider. Ghost Rider. Ass. What kind of
The first
shit?
one, man. The
What kind of
first one
shit are you
was
guys
alright.
watching?
Don't listen to him because he
Hey, it's
doesn't
limited,
watch,
man.
He
This
doesn't
shit
watch
gotta be
anything,
under
okay?
PG-13. They're not showing that
They've
shit.
probably seen more than you.
It's probably true. I watch more anime, but I feel like
I watch
nobody.
Naruto.
You watch Naruto? Okay, that's
watch a
good.
lot of
And you watch it?
What?
And you watch it?
You watch it? I wasn't really.
Also, just an air quality update because I've been checking the air and I was talking to one of the fire chiefs because the winds are blowing that way. This area is like fine. So
Doesn't seem too bad right now.
I always say that you can't go off a smell test. You can't go. You got to be like checking the quality, but.
Nick Cannon's getting so much play out here, dude. This is crazy.
This is not the place you want to get play at, though, man.
What do you mean? Who gives a shit?
Are we out of here?
Yeah, I think we can. Yeah, let's do a photo.
This is our first shower in a whole week. Just let them know we've been out here for a week.
Let's go.
It's our first shower,
It's
bro.
about time.
About
You guys
time.
get a
Thank you
shower.
guys. It's because of y'all. Y'all fucking
Back.
Scott, we're gonna,
How do you feel? How do you feel?
That was fantastic.
I want
That was amazing.
I want you to talk about the fundraiser. ARC is doing a fundraiser for these guys after they get out. We're thinking of funds.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of things that we need. You can talk to this guy right here too. Like everyone wants to give right now that they're on the fire line.
Yeah.
There's not so much to give right now, right? They're fairly good right now. It's when they get back to camp, right? There's not a TV that's working in some places, right?
Yeah.
There's the boots are all fucked up and they need better boots. Like there's just things that are not so sexy, but that they need. You never think this, but we're getting a shower truck dropped off.
No, I know
Like,
what you're talking about.
Yeah. By the
but
way,
you
God
had to
bless.
reach out to Coachella.
God bless the dudes at Coachella.
Dude.
They got a shower truck coming in. These guys haven't showered in like 4 days.
I know.
So just stuff like that. And then I think also when they get out, if they want to work for CAL FIRE, as soon as they get out, how are they going to pay rent to wherever they're getting hired? How are they going to pay utilities? What about a car to get to and from work? Right? Those sort of things. So we're setting up a scholarship fund to help them when they get out.
A lot of people have talked about how, reintegration, like one of the biggest problems is like getting a job in general and, keeping up with parole.
Yeah.
And from what I've heard, it's just like having something that keeps them grounded and busy and look forward to is like a major impact, I feel like.
I think you nailed it. And it's like, the work ethic this gives them too. Like these guys are fucking beasts, right?
Yeah.
Animals.
Dude, we were hearing stories about, and they were all swapping stories too. What they are doing out here it's so physically demanding and how hard
They're gonna run
working.
circles, whatever job they get out here, if they don't do fire, they're gonna run circles around everyone. The work ethic's insane, right?
Yeah.
So like these guys are insanely hireable. And now, because of a bill ARC did, they can now expunge the record. So they don't have to check the I'm a felon box. They're no longer a felon because they risked their life to save our state, which they did last night and they'll be doing tomorrow night. So while we're sleeping in our bed, they're up all night long on the mountain.
Yeah, and they were saying they pretty much just have what is on them. Like there's nothing.
That's it. And by the way, those Subway sandwiches and stuff that we just delivered, I'm sure they'll be sneaking those in their packs. So at 3 in the morning after they've been working for 20 hours, they can sneak a bite.
Yeah.
But
dude, how did you get involved? How long have you been involved?
I was just like, I was doing Old School. Do you remember that one? Or too young for Old School?
Old School?
Will Ferrell running streaking?
Of course.
I was doing Old School and I met a guy that said, come down to Juvenile Hall in the San Fernando Valley and come be in this creative writing program. And I went down and the first kid I met, no exaggeration, I'm like, how was your day? He said it was a really tough day. I just got 300 years to life in prison. And I looked at him, he was little with a little mohawk on his head. And he said, I'm 15 years old. And he got 300 years to life in prison. And I'm like, what did you do? In my mind, I'm thinking like, is this kid like Charles Manson? Like, what did he
murdered,
do?
100 people.
Yeah. He's like, I stood next to my homie who shot the victim in the butt The victim was in and out of the hospital in a day, and for standing next to the guy with the gun and never touching the gun, I got 300 years to life. And in my mind, I'm like, okay, maybe there's some punishment for that, right? But I don't think any of us would say 300 years to life is
This is a 15-year-old.
For a 15-year-old, right?
Yeah.
Like I did a lot of dumb shit when I was in my early 20s. And if that was my kid, A, he'd be out on bail, right? He wouldn't be sitting in that juvenile hall. And B, he'd have the best lawyer in LA. And for not shooting somebody, he would probably get probation. Because he's my kid. He looks like me, has my money, has a good lawyer.
Resources.
Like he's fine. Yeah, resources fine. But David is going to prison for 300 years to life. And so like that got me, I started getting into it, learned how to pass laws in Sacramento, ended up passing a law called Senate Bill 260 that let any kid under the age of 18 who got a life sentence go to the parole board at 15, 20, or 25 years. So David got reduced from 300 to life to 25 to life, got his college degree, mentored people, and then the governor commuted his sentence, and he's home now, and raising two twin daughters.
Yeah, I mean,
it's awesome. But it's like, in our business, like, in what I do, I meet so many people that are just like so self-selfish, self-centered and narcissistic, and being around people like this, who like all they want to do is give back and they want to kind of redeem themselves from what got them here is, you know, I find it very beautiful.
I think like even just asking, you know, you asking that kid, David, how are you? How's your day? You know, it's like just starting there and caring, right? Showing that you see this person as a human being.
Yeah.
And the conversations that I was having with all these guys is they kept being like, I don't mean this the wrong way, but like, why do you guys care?
Why are you here?
Yeah, like, why are you here?
Why do you care
what are you
about
guys
us?
doing here? Why do you care about us?
Isn't that sad? They don't think people care.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
until
I
they
think,
see a night like tonight.
I know, and I think right now, you know, with disasters like this, it's a huge moment to raise awareness, right? Because people are like, okay, I want to help. I want to feel collective action. I want to be in solidarity, and it's like, let this moment radicalize you in a good way, right? Don't fall prey to like misinformation, to individualism. Let this, you know.
It's like, to me, it's like the misinformation piece of it.
Yeah.
It's just like people like using this for like political hits and shit like that. When like you guys are showing up and like showing love and being here for these guys, and other people just want to use it.
But that is radical, like that for a lot of people. That is, you know, radical empathy. It's like radical sounds so intense, right? It's like an intense word, but it is truly seeing these people as human beings, right?
There's fundamentally no difference between any of the dudes I just met today and myself, with the most important exception. I come from a more affluent background.
Yep.
And therefore, when I fucked up, I had a support network to rely on.
Yeah,
I had my family
too.
that could set me straight. And I always recognize that the privilege that I have. And I try to explain to other people that, like, you know, other people that are watching, that like these guys are, yeah, maybe some of them did some stuff that you would consider to be ridiculous or crazy or whatever, but it doesn't matter. Like, everyone has the capacity to rehabilitate. Yeah. Everyone has the capacity to become a better, more productive member of society.
And that's what these guys are doing, right?
Yeah.
Like, the thing I love the most about this is you go from like the pariah of the community.
Yeah.
Like, we want to separate you because you're too dangerous and get out of our community. And now all of a sudden you're a first responder, you're a hero. People are baking you brownies and cookies.
Yeah.
Because you're going up in a mountain and fighting a fire so it doesn't kill our.
I think it's but I think, yeah, you're right. The dignity aspect of it.
The dignity aspect of it
is huge, and I feel like that's another thing I want to do if we can do this, because they were talking about like going back to camp. Yeah. If we could potentially film the camp at some point.
No, we go. Because as soon as they're back, let's go.
Okay, that's a great idea. I want to do that 100% because I think from what I see, this is like one of the closest aspects to a more rehabilitative approach. Yeah. In like the American carceral structure.
100%.
Because like one of the things that everybody talked about, and across age groups from different camps, everyone was like, there's no racialized, like there's no race stuff. Everyone is the same. Nobody rocks the boat, because you get all of these positive incentives of sentence reduction, but more importantly than that, the conditions in the camp are significantly better than prison.
Significantly.
And by the way, that doesn't mean it's actually like better than your living conditions at home.
Yeah, those guys couldn't shower for 5 days.
They also don't have internet. They don't have internet access unless it's supervised. But I think that plays a major role in people feeling like human beings, and it helps with reintegration in general.
100%. David, Campos, get Jersey, bring him over here, please. both of you. It's an incredible story. Wait till I tell you this story. You'll love this. I think like I was on your live stream as you were driving, and I saw the people commenting about modern day slavery. And I'll say this: it's like I'm running like a massive campaign right now with Governor Newsom and others, trying to get him to raise the pay, because I agree that the pay, it's been $1 an hour since 1984, right? That's unacceptable. So there was an actual legislative proposal this year to go from $1 an hour to $5 an hour, and it got killed. So this year I want to accomplish that, but like no one's forced to be here, right? This is voluntary, and it's now. 5 years ago there was no path to a career. You risked your life, you got paid nothing, you got out, and it's like, no, we won't hire you. Now there's a path to a $100,000 a year job. And I tell these guys, like, who cares what you get paid? Volunteer to get out of a prison cell, save people's life, make amends, redeem yourself for the shit you've done. Even if you're volunteering and you get paid nothing. And I'm gonna do everything I can to make sure you have a career where you can make $100,000, $150,000, $200,000 so your kids never have to go through what you went through, and then go to a great private school and a great college, right? And so like, I really love it. 5 years ago, maybe it was more like that. Today, not so much. Yeah, go on.
Oh, I was just gonna say, can you give any update on where a bill like that is? So you're working with
I think it's gonna be more like, you can go a bill route or you can go a budget route. The budget process starts now in January. The governor released his budget this week. And then they close the budget in June and it becomes a state budget. So between now and June is when he will either force his Department of Finance to do it or not do it. And the governor was here tonight.
I'll sing his praises if he does.
Yeah.
That's right.
I'll tell you this, like, he really, in terms of fire stuff, he's done incredible. No governor in the last 30, 40 years has doubled CAL FIRE's budget. $2 billion when he came in, $4 billion now. 7,000 firefighters there, 14,000 now. Like, he's doing it. I want to tell you a quick story. Where's Compost? Get Compost. Compost, stop talking. Get over here. Okay, this is a great story. So, this guy right here was my student in Somar Juvenile Hall when he was 14 years old, facing life in prison. Didn't get life in prison, but got
14-year sentence.
14-year sentence. At 18 years old, as a kid, he gets sent to the most violent prison in California, Pelican Bay State Prison, up on the Oregon border. So he's now an 18-year-old at Pelican Bay, and he got out of there without ever getting into trouble, went down a level, and then came to a college program I was doing at this prison called Ironwood, and ended up graduating college, doing great, came home, interned for me at my film company for a little bit.
All right.
The director, I don't know if you guys know who Destin Cretton is, but he did this movie called Just Mercy that I did with Michael B. Jordan and Jamie Foxx. Destin's like, I need an assistant during post-production. I'm like, interview David. David interviews. He becomes Destin's assistant for the post-production of Just Mercy. Destin then does a DC Comics movie called Marvel. Oh, shit.
Okay.
No,
bro.
Shit.
We're talking about both.
Okay. Marvel movie called Shang-Chi in Australia. Takes him while he's on parole to be his assistant in Australia on Shang-Chi.
Yeah.
Gets better. This motherfucker right here is the lead man, so he's a headset dresser, Local 44, and Let's Make a Deal on The Price is Right, which I've watched my entire life. And he hires him in the union, so now we're talking about $150,000 a year, etc., to work for him on Let's Make a Deal on The Price is Right. This motherfucker crushes and works so hard on Let's Make a Deal on The Price is Right. This guy's now hired like 20 guys that have come out of prison, and is doing incredibly,
awesome.
Right?
Hell yeah.
Best guys in town, man.
Yeah.
You know, they want it. They're happy. They're better than getting somebody's kid that wants to get in. You know, they've been taught. You know, and it's one of those things. The drive, and you can't teach that in people. You know, the drive, their work ethic, all that kind of stuff. You don't get that. And these guys have proven. And it's like, whatever their past is their past. We don't give a crap, you know. I just want a happy, smiling face and somebody to hang out with at work and have a good time. And now 20 of them are, and if I could get more, you know, I would have 150 of them because it's, you know, they're great workers, you know.
What a cool job to have.
Yeah, I feel extremely blessed, honestly. And we're at Price is Right, and Let's Make a Deal. We're all a family.
Yeah.
So it doesn't feel like work. You know, I look forward to going there and being with my friends. And yeah, we work, but it's a great time. You know, we all get along really well. It's a great opportunity.
My cousin won a car on Price is Right once.
There you go.
Oh, bro.
See? We're always making somebody's life a little different, you know?
To see him at 14 years old, locked in a cell-facing life, and mentor him when he was 14 years old, to now see him making hundreds of thousands of dollars on the show, then to now see him here giving back and feeding guys that are currently incarcerated, like, talk about full circle. Okay, sorry guys, sorry I interrupted you. And this is the man right here.
Thank you. Nice to meet you.
I think we're about to head out.
Yeah, nice to meet you guys.
Thanks for sharing your story.
Thank you so much
Thank you,
for everything.
Scott.
Thank you for giving us the opportunity to talk to these guys.
How were the combos?
Fantastic.
So good.
So good.
Amazing.
So good.
I think, I would love to do more stuff with you on specifically this issue, because this is something that I think is unfortunately an area where a lot of people just don't ever even encounter, like don't even broach the subject matter with like any dignity whatsoever. Everybody just writes off prisoners. They don't ever talk about them. They don't ever think about them. They they want more. They don't want to reduce sentences. They want to make sure that people stay in prison for as long as possible without ever thinking about it. And I think showing the camp conditions specifically as juxtaposed with like what county jail looks like, what prison looks like, and how much that helps people feel human, and how successful that is in terms of like rehabilitating people and allowing that integration to happen is really huge. This is a major aspect.
Wait till you see the camp, you'll really enjoy it. Yeah, we'll go there, we'll shoot it, it'll be great.
I think also right now, you know, as we said, a lot of people are very like, oh, thank you to the first responders, like finding out they're incarcerated, great, everybody's, you know, grateful. Once these fires are clear,
everyone will go back to their lives and no
everyone
one
goes back to their lives. And it's about like what happens after, you know, it's not just like now, but also when they get out of prison and making sure that they have a pathway. So
thank you guys for coming and
so
shining a
nice
light.
to meet you. Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Thank you so much. Thank you for the work that you're doing.
Big dog, I'll see you. I'm going to San Francisco. I'm blown away.
Yeah.
My house is burned down.
Yeah.
Hopefully not.
Rad. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Big dog.